I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. Yes, I really love my job. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Yes, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. Yeshua, 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 Yeshua. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. We're disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and happy Monday morning. Pastor Tom Donnelly, Firmly Rooted Ministries, and we're going to strengthen our roots. Jennifer's in the house, Kimberly's in the house, Nikki's in the house, Emily's in the house, and Nikki and Emily may have prayer today. We're not sure yet. I've got to go get a lift for them so they can paint the wall out there, and I might not get back in time for prayer time. So we'll see how it works. They're nodding, they're shaking their heads like this way. They're shaking their heads like this way. I know that you've done live streaming. Everyone can wait. All right. We just want you to know that if it's not live at 9, you all can wait. And all right. For let's say hi to a few people. Jackie Matus, good morning. Bert Reggiani, good morning. Anne Marie, good morning. Roger Fondorf down at Firmly Rooted Greendale. Looking forward to hearing how your first of 3 sermon series down there went. Pamela C., good morning. Diane Giroux, good morning. So for almost 2 weeks, we've been talking about Paul knowingly going to have some rough times in Jerusalem, does have a rough time, gets accused for doing stuff that he didn't do. They almost want to kill him. I mean, they basically got to lift him up and get him out of the crowd because they just are satanically like crazed. We have a mini little trial when the commander just wants to know what in the world's going on. Then there's a pact of 40 men who decide to not eat or drink until Paul's dead. Just so happens that Paul's sister's son hears about it. And we talked about how God in them is controlling both kingdoms, right? I mean, he's now met before Felix, Festus, Agrippa, and his appeal to Caesar is now forcing him to go towards Rome. And that's where we're at. Again, from an external perspective, all you see is these movements. But I guess what I want to say to all of us, if we can see how God is working in all this crazy stuff going on around Paul's life, do you think he might be able to work around the crazy stuff going around in our lives? See, this is where Satan typically tells us that God's abandoned us and we got to take care of things ourselves. But what if not? Just because things are crazy and weird doesn't mean God's not there. Matter of fact, he seems to be especially near to Paul because of the craziness. Well, it's not going to get any better. You would think that being obedient to God, having a chance to share the gospel 3 times now, that maybe he might bless him with a smooth journey to Rome. I mean, it is God's will that he goes to Rome, right? It's not going to go well. And so in chapter 27, and we're still about 62 AD, the journey begins. In those days, what would happen is you'd have a cargo ship, and the cargo ship would carry cargo, would carry people, would carry prisoners. It was like the Mediterranean taxi. It was the way that everything got around. And so they get on a ship, and from day one, they're just having trouble. They fight winds. Everything's so slow. They're not getting anywhere in the time frame that they think they should be getting there. It says in verse 9, much time has been lost, and sailing had already become dangerous because by now it was after the fast, which means this is a time period where the storms are going to begin. We should have been much farther by now. And so it says, so Paul warned them, men, I can see that our voyage is going to be disastrous and bring great loss to ship and cargo and to our own lives also. He knows. I mean, if I'm Paul, I'm saying, God, really? You're making me go to Rome, and then we're going to be on a ship and almost be dying on a ship? What are you doing? Because God had to tell him that this is the way it's going to go. And so he tells the guys, they don't listen to him. So they keep pressing in, they keep going forward. And we're going to stop there. Because the next thing we're going to do is face a storm. Paul's is absolutely right. They're going to hit one of these storms. And for days, listen, for days, they will not know what direction they're going in. For days. Ever have days when you're not sure what direction you're going in? See, we got to make the scriptures speak to our lives, or else somehow we feel we're in an odd place that no one else has ever been. Paul he's doing God's will, and he's getting his teeth kicked in. We need more of this in our lives. The more of a sense of God being right there. Paul doesn't feel abandoned by God. He knows exactly what's going on, and he senses what's happening. And I'm not going to get into tomorrow's much now, but just realize, what if we could have that same kind of vision? When tough times hit our lives, we become blind. But what if spiritually we could have 20/20 vision, and we could know that God's navigating through these torrential storms we're in, this time that makes no sense. And what we got to do is, like Psalm 46, be still and know that I'm God. Be still. This is no time to flounder. This is no time to flail. This is no time to try to figure it all out. It is time to just hunker in and let God be a refuge and strength and trust that he's going to get us through the storm. That's what I have for you today. I pray that this devotion was a blessing to you. Melissa Clark, welcome, welcome. Michelle Lumley, good morning. All right, everybody. Blessings on your day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.